Football has always asked supporters for belief. Not logic, not balance, belief. It asks fans to believe that a badge means more than money, that colors matter, that some lines are never crossed. For generations, football survived on an unspoken contract between players and supporters. Players would come and go, but loyalty, real loyalty, still existed. There were rivals you hated, but you respected the boundary between them. Until the summer of 2000, until Luis Figo. This is not simply the story of a transfer. It is the story of the moment football realized that loyalty could be negotiated, that identity could be sold, and that even captains could walk away. This is the story of the worst betrayal football has ever known. Luis Figo did not grow up destined for superstardom. He came from Cova da Piedade, a modest working-class area in Portugal. His talent was obvious, but nothing about his early life suggested glamour. He was quiet, focused, reserved. Even as a young player at Sporting CP, Figo stood out not because of showmanship, but because of control. He understood space, he understood timing, he understood the game before others caught up. Barcelona noticed. In 1995, when Barca signed him, they weren't buying a winger for highlights. They were buying structure, stability, a player who could anchor chaos without demanding attention. At a club defined by emotion, Figo brought calm. Barcelona in the late 1990s was not the machine it would later become. It was powerful, proud, but fragile. The club leaned heavily on leaders, players who could absorb pressure when expectations turned heavy. Figo became that player. Season after season, he delivered consistency. When matches slowed, he controlled tempo. When space vanished, he created it. When pressure rose, he didn't hide. That reliability earned trust. Eventually, it earned him the captain's armband. At Barcelona, this meant everything. The captain was not just a senior player. He was a bridge between club and city, between institution and identity, especially in a rivalry like El Clásico, where football carries political and cultural weight. When Figo wore the armband, he didn't just represent the team, he represented resistance. That was painful but accepted. But Real Madrid, that was different. That was the enemy. Leaving for Madrid was not a transfer. It was an ideological choice, a declaration. And captains didn't do that. Florentino Perez did not think like football romantics. He thought like a strategist. For Perez, Real Madrid wasn't just a club that needed to win matches. It was a global institution that needed to dominate narratives, to assert superiority not only through results, but through humiliation. And he understood one thing perfectly. You don't hurt your rival by beating them. You hurt them by taking what they love. So during his presidential campaign, Perez made a promise that sounded outrageous. If I win, Luis Figo will be a Real Madrid player. Most people laughed. Barcelona fans laughed the loudest. But Perez wasn't bluffing. Behind closed doors, something dangerous happened. Figo, or his representatives, signed a legally binding pre-agreement. The terms were severe. If Perez won and Madrid failed to sign him, massive penalties would follow. This contract removed flexibility, removed emotion, removed escape. Whether Figo fully understood the consequences or believed the deal would never be activated remains debated to this day. What matters is this. Once Perez won the election, Figo was trapped. Barcelona tried to intervene. Negotiations became frantic. Promises were made, but trust had already cracked. The situation spiraled beyond control. When the news broke in July 2000, it didn't unfold slowly. It detonated. Luis Figo, Real Madrid. For a moment, football stood still. Barcelona supporters didn't react immediately with anger. First came disbelief. Screens refreshed, headlines reread, confirmation awaited, then reality settled in. Their captain had crossed the line, not to another league, not to another country, but directly to the club that defined everything they opposed. That single fact transformed disappointment into outrage. The reaction was visceral. Figo wasn't accused of ambition, he wasn't accused of greed, he was accused of betrayal. Murals across Barcelona were vandalized, his image was defaced, his name was erased from chants that once praised him. Shirts bearing his name were burned publicly. The word Judas followed him everywhere. Because Judas doesn't simply leave. Judas pretends loyalty before destroying it. In the immediate aftermath, Figo said little. He spoke later of broken promises, of disrespect from the club, of uncertainty surrounding his future. He framed the move as professional necessity rather than personal choice. But silence in moments like these does not calm anger. It amplifies it. To Barcelona fans, explanations sounded hollow, because loyalty, once questioned, cannot be defended with logic. Fans don't remember meetings. They remember emotions. When Figo returned to Camp Nou wearing white, football entered a new territory. This was not hostility. This was fury. The whistles were constant, deafening, almost violent. Objects were thrown relentlessly. Every touch of the ball triggered another wave of hatred. The match itself became irrelevant. And then came the pig's head, thrown onto the pitch as Figo prepared to take a corner. It was grotesque, unacceptable, embarrassing to some, but for many it symbolized something deeper, a rejection so complete that it abandoned reason. That night, football showed its rawest face. At Real Madrid, Figo succeeded. He won league titles, he won the Champions League, he won the Ballon d'Or. Professionally, the decision paid off, but success never repaired the damage. Because betrayal isn't erased by achievement, it is preserved by memory. Barcelona never forgave him. And perhaps more importantly, football never forgot. After Figo, something shifted. Players were no longer trusted in the same way. Public declarations of love were treated with suspicion. Contracts were read with cynicism. Supporters learned that even captains could leave, that even symbols could be sold, that loyalty had an expiration date. The modern transfer era didn't begin with agents or television money. It began with Luis Figo walking across Spain. Today, Figo exists in two realities. In Madrid, he is remembered as a pioneer of the Galactico era, a proof of ambition, a statement of power. In Barcelona, he is remembered as a warning, not for his football, not for his intelligence, but for one decision that erased everything before it. Luis Figo did not destroy football, but he exposed it. He revealed a truth fans were not ready to face, that loyalty in modern football is fragile, conditional, negotiable, and once that illusion was gone, it never returned. This is why his story still matters, because football forgives defeats, football forgives mistakes, but betrayal? Football remembers that forever. This was Luis Figo, one of the greatest players of his generation, and the man who taught football its harshest lesson: